Can the New England Patriots keep Russell Wilson from doing a little Denver home cooking for the holidays? Stick around. You're about to be locked in to the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. Don't forget, Locked On Patriots is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube, so smash that subscribe button, download, subscribe, follow, so you won't miss a single second of the action. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Sports Illustrated. Reach out to me. Let me know what's on your mind on X at MDABATE NFL. While you're out there showing social media love to Locked On Patriots, be sure to follow our account there as well at LO_Patriots. And Pats fans, today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code all lowercase LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. And Pats fans, today's episode, of course, we dedicate to the Griswold family Christmas, but we also show our unending gratitude for the monster keys to victory. And boy, do the Patriots need some monster keys to victory to get back into the win column. A Sunday night, 8:15 p.m. kickoff, Christmas Eve, the New England Patriots at Empower Field at Mile High, taking on the hometown Denver Broncos. And here today to provide keys that need to be turned is our good friend, the Don here on Locked On Patriots, Thomas Murphy of Die Hard Boston Sports. Thank you so much for coming to me in friendship, Don Murph.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Michael. It's always a pleasure. I'm sorry I slowed up the day.
You did not slow up the day. You only accelerated it, my friend, because those keys kick everything into gear, and that's exactly what the Patriots need right now. At 3-11, Murph, I know a lot of Patriots fans are hoping for a lump of coal in their stocking for this one because it's going to mean gold at the end of the rainbow. But you and I both know that this team is not the type of team to pack it in. They're going to be looking for the victory, and there are ways to do it, folks. And we're going to get into that. And Murph, let's start on the offensive side of the ball. The New England Patriots right now coming in playing very good first half offensive football. They're moving the ball. Bailey Zappe's finding his targets. A lot is going well in New England until the second half. And then that swoon hits, and all of a sudden, things just derail. We've talked about it here on Locked On Patriots all week long. This Denver Broncos team, defensively against the pass, they're ranked 23rd in the league at 235.5 points allowed per game. Against the run, they're ranked 32nd, 146.9 allowed on the ground. Now, some of that, folks, is skewed by the Miami Dolphins putting up 70 points on the Broncos earlier this season and essentially ran the ball all over them. But this defense can be scored upon. If you're the New England Patriots offensively, looking at the injuries they might be up against, looking at the difficulties they've had moving the ball in the second half, what keys need to be turned offensively for the Patriots to put the Denver Broncos on their heels on Sunday night?
This offensive line, whatever incarnation is out there on Sunday, is going to have to get grinchy. Okay, they're going to have to set the tone, push this Broncos pass rush back behind Bailey Zappe, allow him to step up into the pocket and exploit the middle of the field. It's going to be a nice, well-balanced day. As you said, you know, Denver's defense has been up and down all year long. So it's a two-sided key. And whichever is working best for you, that's what you're going to need to do to set up the other aspect of the game. Usually I'm very tuned into whether or not I want the run to set up the pass or the pass to set up the run. We might not know until midway through the first quarter, but the first thing is pushing this Denver pass rush back behind Zappe and giving him the time and the room to operate. allow him to set the tone with his arm. It's just the way it's going to be this week, and move the chains that way.
Very good point. And I'm glad you mentioned that we might not know until midway through the
Right.
first quarter, maybe even beyond, whether or not you want to establish the run early to set up play action. Common sense would tell you that's the best way for the Patriots to move the ball against the Broncos. The Broncos, we know, are still going to try to take the run away, even though they haven't been dominant
Right.
or even serviceable at times against the run. Vance Joseph is definitely going to want to utilize those aggressive fronts. He's going to use heavier boxes. He's
Yep.
going to try to load up to stop the run and prevent the Patriots from getting traction. Even though Ramondre Stevenson, folks, looks like he's not going to go in this
No.
once again, hasn't practiced all week. I don't expect him to be active at the time that Murph and I are recording this. The injury report is not out yet, but I'm pretty confident that once it
Yeah,
is, you'll see that
he's done.
Ramondre is not going to be there. But the Patriots need to take advantage either way. If they're not allowed or not able to
Right.
get the run game going, they still have to find a way, in my opinion, to get play action going, because that's
Yeah.
where the
Okay.
Patriots can get their opportunities against this Denver team. Now, we know that the Patriots love to use play action, but they actually have the worst rated play action game in the
know.
league right now, Murph. It's an anomaly. And I
know.
talked about this earlier today on Sports Illustrated for my latest column. It's kind of a game of bad on bad.
Yeah.
Denver is absolutely egregious against play action. They have the worst pass defense against play action in the NFL. They rank last in EPA per attempt at plus 0.32.
Right.
And a passer rating of 137.7, allowing 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And a tip of the cap on the stats to that to our good friends over at Patriots.com. But in doing research for this, Murph, it really does look like this is a game of who is going to falter more along the line. If Bailey Zappe can start picking his targets a little bit better, Patriots may have a
Right.
chance to take advantage of this vulnerability.
And this goes to my second key of the day, and it's Christmas is for the kids. I want to see the youngsters out there. I want some speed out there, folks. Speed kills. All right. I want to see Douglas, Butte, and Thornton out there. I want them to get a second shot in the game. Okay. If a wrong pattern is run, okay, son, better luck next time. Get back out there. A ball is dropped, no worries, man. Balls hit the ground. All right. But speed kills, and speed is one of the hamstrings. Facing speed is one of the hamstrings for this Denver defense. Now we could get very lucky in this game, as Nick Bonito is looking like he's going to be out. He hasn't practiced all week long. He is their best pass rusher. He is their Mike, and if he isn't out there, it should help this offensive line open up some holes to get Zeke through. It should also give Zappe a second, or at least a half a second more, to make a read and hit that guy over the middle.
Yeah, without question. And again, that second, folks, needs to be provided by the offensive line. Bringing it back full circle from what Murph said earlier, it's going to be so important for the lineman to give Bailey Zappe that extra second, even that extra half second, to be able to make his reads. When the pressure is turned up, you've seen the tale of two Zappes. You've seen the Mr. Hyde version of Bailey Zappe instead of the Dr. Jekyll. You're seeing that difficulty, not having the ability to make his reads, his processing time becoming an issue. This is a lot of pressure on that line.
4 quarters of Dr. Jekyll.
Absolutely.
We've in the same game. We've seen 4 quarters out of 12. All right, but it hasn't all come together. We've had Dr. Jekyll first halves and Mr. Hyde in the second, and we need to get that throughout the entire program.
Absolutely. And you mentioned getting that extra time and that ability. It's going to be tough. Nick Bonito obviously is someone that may not see the field on Sunday night, but last time I checked, the Broncos still have a formidable defensive lineman in Zach Allen, someone who is not afraid to mix it up, folks.
Nope.
Very good strength. He anticipates the block very well. He's got great instincts. And this guy can be a problem because he loves to align over guards, especially inexperienced ones. City So is going to have to be on his game. Tony O'Mafe, a big test. Right now, I'm sure that Denver defensive brain trust is looking at a Tony O'Mafe and saying, This is where we want Zach Allen. He's got to be ready for it. Good news is Trent Brown is trending in the right direction. Hopefully he'll be able to suit up, provide some stability on that left side, because the right side with Sidiso and Michael Wainu should be competent enough to be able to get the job done, but still going to be a tall task for an offensive line that's definitely feeling it. Patriots fans, I hope that you are enjoying Murph's monster keys to victory on offense. But what about the defense? As I said before, the Patriots need to keep Russell Wilson from serving up some holiday home cooking in Denver on Christmas Eve. Murph and I will present the monster keys to victory on defense when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, the only thing more important than cheering on your favorite team on game day is making sure that your game day table is well stocked. Why root for your team on an empty stomach? Order on DoorDash and save on football watch party favorites. All of your favorite restaurants and stores, from retail to grocery, they're on the app, so you can shop everything you need to get game day ready. New Englanders, nothing says game day like a little New England clam chowder. And now with DoorDash, you can have the best in the business from legal seafoods delivered right to your door just in time for kickoff. So Locked On listeners, don't delay. Do it today. Get 50% off up to a $10 value when you spend $15 or more on your first order. That's when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code LOCKED23. Subject to change and terms apply, so don't forget to use the code LOCKED23. LOCKED23 for 50% off up to a $10 value on your first order when you download the DoorDash app and spend $15 or more. Subject to change, terms apply. Pats fans, thank you for spending some of your holiday weekend here with us on Locked On Patriots. And of course, Thomas Murphy joins me today to present the monster keys to victory. Murph and I talked about what the Pats need to do on offense, and now it's time to present the defensive keys to victory. What do the Patriots need to do to slow this Denver offense on Christmas Eve on Murph?
You know, we definitely have to go. If you haven't, I've got a real banking and Rass theme happening with Monster Keys this week, and we're going to have to be a little heat miser and freeze miser when it comes to the defensive side of the ball this week. The Patriots are going to need to turn up the heat on Russell Wilson and get home. All right, I'm tired of pressure. I want to see him confused. I want to see him on his backside. I want to see him running around trying to do the things that he has done in the past, which he is not doing this year. Wilson, while under pressure, has been missing open receivers, throwing over their heads, putting balls at their feet. And this comes like with most quarterbacks, that you can't handle the pressure anymore. He's not making the plays with his legs. He is extending plays, but he's not running the ball the way that he used to. So they're going to have to do that. And the defensive backfield is really going to have to go total freeze miser on these wide receivers of Denver, in sticking with them from the get-go. Don't pass anybody off. Okay, stick with these guys and give the defensive line and the linebackers enough time to get home, and don't give Wilson those checkdowns that he's been, progressing towards. I think Peyton has really dumbed down this offense that he ran in New Orleans for all these years, and simplified it, because Wilson just wasn't able to absorb it in the amount of time that he was given this season. A lot of his stuff has been dink and dunk stuff. I hate to say it, I really do, but that's the way it is. And these linebackers are going to need to be quick to the ball and get these guys on the ground. Do not miss tackles this week. Do not miss tackles.
Yeah, one thing about Russ, that what he's known for is essentially being able to spot a pass rush at any place on the field. He did it so well when he was in Seattle. He continues to do it at a reduced rate in Denver, but don't let that fool you, folks. He still has the ability to do it. And if you can rush, if you can sense that rusher coming, even if it's the last minute, it still allows you to evade a sack. You can find the running back. You can try to find a receiver down the field for a big play. And this is what worries me defensively about the Patriots this week is that secondary is extremely banged up. And they're going to be facing two very good wide receivers, one of which presents, I think, a very matchup problem for the Patriots. And no, folks, it's not Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton, I think, is right now going to feast on lesser competition. I'll get into that in a minute. But Jerry Jeudy in the slot, I think, is going to be a very tough cover. Jonathan Jones is one of the best in the league, and I look for him to actually take this matchup. But with him banged up and him kind of limping along and having the injuries that almost forced him from the game completely last Sunday against the Chiefs, this is going to be a real problem against someone like Jeudy, who hasn't been his normal self this year in terms of finding the end zone. But don't make any mistake, folks. This is still a guy that can break for big yardage and really make you pay if he senses blood in the water. I think there might be a little brewing in New England. Or I think there might be a little brewing in Mile High this weekend in those Denver waters, my friend.
Right, exactly. Jonathan Jones is going to have the game of the season for himself, and that's not going to be easy, like you said. But you know, there's really no there's no plan D or plan E right now, which is what the Patriots are on. Alex Austin's going to have his hands full. Miles Bryant's going to have to chip in. Shaun Wade's going to have to chip in. And you know, God forbid anything happens, we might end up seeing Brendan Schooler out there.
Yeah, it definitely is a possibility. Of course, folks, we talk about the injuries in the secondary. J.C. Jackson, a personal illness, will not be suiting up. His resignation on NFI essentially ends his season. Obviously, there's no Christian Gonzalez walking through the door right now. You're down to a handful of healthy corners. Shaun Wade, I believe, will be active for this game. Alex Austin is someone right now that continues to struggle a little bit. We saw issues with penalties. We saw issues with difficult coverage. If he's going to be asked to match up with Cortland Sutton or Shaun Wade, that's going to be difficult. Sutton ranks third in the NFL, 10 receiving touchdowns. He leads the Broncos with 770 receiving yards. Big target. He can win those contested catches. He can go up and he can get the football. There's no question about it. I'm worried at this point is if these guys start to falter a little bit, who comes over and helps? Jabril Peppers doesn't look like he's going to be able to go. This is your workhorse. 95% of the defensive snaps taken this year have been played by Jabril Peppers, folks. 73 tackles, fourth on the team, 2 interceptions, 7 pass breakups, even forced a fumble and recovered it. This is not good for New England. We might see Adrian Phillips get that shrink wrap taken off him and put into this game. That may not be a bad thing, Murph. You know, I covered this guy for a number of years. I love his game. He does love to play close to the line of scrimmage, but if he's going to come over and give defensive backs a helping hand, something he can do, and I think he can do at a high level. Patriots may need it this weekend.
That's it. They may need him, and they may need linebacker Kyle Duggar to play a little safety down there.
Absolutely.
Kyle Duggar is a linebacker. He's a linebacker.
Kyle Duggar is really the jack of all trades, and who knows, you might see Marte Mapu go back into that level, and really by necessity, folks, if Jabril is going to be out, this could be a problematic matchup for the Patriots because Sutton is so good at doing so many different things, and if you're giving Russell Wilson that type of target, it's going to be a long day.
Week 3, I'm a lot happier with my game plan and with what the Patriots would have to do than I am coming into this game on Sunday, simply because of the health of the defensive backs. And it's next man up is really going to be tested this week. It's really going to be tested this week.
Yeah. I have a question for you in terms of turning monster keys. In terms of a defensive X factor this week, obviously all eyes are going to be on that secondary and how the Patriots are going to fill some of the slots. But I think what might be the deciding factor in whether or not this defense is going to be able to contain Denver and keep them where the Patriots need them is going to be, once again, Christian Barmore, someone that's going to align against one of the weaker pass blockers on this team. How big is Christian Barmore's performance going to be for this team?
Barmore is going to be huge. It goes back to, my heat miser and freeze miser key in getting to the quarterback. He is, without a doubt, one of the most disruptive forces in the middle in the NFL right now. I'm out there stumping for his Pro Bowl inclusion. He is going to have one hell of a game, not only rushing the passer and getting to Russell Wilson, but stuffing that run, which we all know that the Patriots defense does really well.
Absolutely, without question, folks. And bottom line, this New England Patriots team, this New England Patriots offense and defense are going to have their hands full with a team that's playing for a little bit of pride right now. I had the good fortune of being joined here yesterday by Sarah Bettinger of Locked On Broncos. And the one thing that we talked about with this Broncos team was inability to remain consistent. And I think in a lot of ways, the New England Patriots are fighting that same battle.
Yeah.
Both of these teams right now need to find a way to continue to move forward. And say what you will, Denver, I think, is playing with a little extra edge right now because they're still in a playoff hunt. They're still trying to get there. They desperately need a win. The New England Patriots desperately need to make a good fight. There's a big difference there between getting the win and really forcing the win in order to remain alive in the postseason hunt. So, folks, definitely things to keep an eye on. Murph has already laid out the offensive keys, the defensive keys. I've chipped in a little grease to help the locks a little bit along the way, but we haven't discussed the secret key yet. And Murph is going to reveal his game prediction for this Christmas Eve matchup with the Denver Broncos on Sunday night at 8:15 when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast wraps up right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, football season is here, and there is no better time to use PrizePicks, the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. In fact, they're the easiest and the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of those other players, including the pros and the sharks out there, you pick more than or less than on a 2 to 6 player stat projection and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. And listen up, folks, you are going to love this. With the PrizePicks reboot policy, your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. And that's for football games and for basketball games. If you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. And PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with injury insurance. And if you're a Patriots fan and you're looking at that injured reserve list in New England, you know all about the need for injury insurance. So don't delay, do it today. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a first deposit match up to $100 by going to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code LockedOnNFL. That's LOCKEDON NFL. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Patriots fans, thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage, a part of your holiday weekend coverage here on Locked On Patriots. And Murph, did you know that Locked On Patriots and really all across the Locked On Podcast Network can be taken with you wherever you travel this holiday season?
I did.
Yeah, you did. And you know why? Because Murph pays attention. Murph knows that Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel right here on YouTube. And Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Want to hear more about Yamamoto joining forces with Ohtani in Los Angeles? Our great men and women over at Locked On are all over it. So go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. And you might see us on that channel, folks, because here today, breaking down, providing the monster keys to victory for your New England Patriots as they face a Christmas Eve matchup this Sunday with the Denver Broncos, is the Don of Locked On Patriots, my good friend Thomas Murphy, the legend himself, the Count of Murphy Fisto, the Green King of Sting, Monster Master of Disaster. I can keep going, but we do have time restraints, my friend. Murph, in the previous segments, we talked about the offensive keys to victory. We talked a little bit about the defensive keys to victory. Victory is not going to be easy for the Patriots. Nothing's been easy for the Patriots in 2023, but you always have a proverbial ace card somewhere up your sleeve, that secret key to victory that not many people are talking about, but they should be. I ask you, on this Christmas weekend episode, please enlighten us. Give us the gift we all desperately want and need done, Murph. What is the secret key to victory for the Patriots over the Broncos this weekend?
Busting seams. Okay, I expect to see whoever is in there at tight end. We're not quite sure if Hunter Henry is going to be able to go this Sunday or not. But be it Farrell Brown, be it there we go again. Be it Farrell Brown, be it Mike Gesicki, whoever is lining up at tight end, they need to bust up these seams and exploit the middle of the field, to exploit those seams and move the chains that way. If Henry cannot go, they're really going to miss this. The last week Sam Laporta tore up this Denver defense for I think it was 58 yards and 3 scores. He was the man down there in the red zone, and that's the secret key this week, guys. That's it. Use the tight endage. Claire's going to love it. Tight endage.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially what Mike Gesicki was brought to New England for.
Right.
And I know the signing hasn't worked out the way anybody has hoped, and Mike could be the first probably to tell you about that. Farrell Brown is someone that can get the job done, go out and get the big chunk play. We've seen him do it. But Gesicki is adept at being able to go up, get yards after the catch, make contested catches, and really be a very large wide receiver out there. Don't be a bit surprised to see Devontae Parker on a couple of seam routes as well. If Hunter Henry can't go, he's a little bit bigger of a target. Bailey Zappe is developing a nice little synergy with him as well. I know the connection that he's made with Hunter Henry has really taken to the headlines, and rightfully so, folks. I mean, there is a nice budding connection between the two. But if Hunter can't go because of injury in this game, then yeah, the Patriots may have to get a little inventive. And again, you're going to see some backfield receiving. Heavy dose of Kevin Harris in this game, I'm predicting, Murph. I think to spell Ezekiel Elliott a little bit, bring the kid in,
we got to
show that he can break for a rookie. That's not funny. That's not funny at all.
Funny at all.
That's not funny at all, folks.
I don't find that funny at
all. Playoffs. I'm just trying to win a game. But in any case, you know what? We're having some fun here on Christmas Eve, or this eve of Christmas Eve episode of Locked On Patriots. You've given the Patriots their path to victory. Now, in the immortal words of Blake from Glenn Ross, are they man enough to take it? Are they gonna take it? Don Murph, what's your prediction for this game?
My prediction for this game is not going to well, it might please a small group of you, but I don't think that that Denver is going to be embarrassed 2 weeks in a row. I really don't. I think they're going to come out. I think Sean Payton is going to have them ready, and the Patriots just don't have the horses anymore on the defensive side of the ball to hold them down. And I think that Denver Broncos are going to end up winning this game 28-17.
Yeah, I have the Broncos in this one as well. And it definitely is with a heavy heart. There's no question about it. Especially at this time, the New England Patriots were so dominant in December football. Wasn't that long ago, Murph, before these games were almost foregone conclusions and they were hitting their stride and really steamrolling through the league. Those days have long since gone. And I agree with you. I think Denver is playing for a lot of pride right now. They were embarrassed by Detroit last week. They want to prove that there's still something left. They are the home team. And at the end of the day, I just think that the injuries that the Patriots are coming into this game with are going to really, I think, exacerbate the problems that they've had. Losing Jabril Peppers and losing Hunter Henry are two huge losses for the offense and defense, respectively. And again, if the Patriots are going to be successful, folks, the penalty against and the yards they're missing at this point, 29 penalties, 187 yards. Limit
it's a
that.
weekly key.
Yeah.
and this team just cannot seem to do it.
To show you how bad things have gotten when it comes to the turnovers as well, because the Patriots are turning the ball over, or they continue to at an
Yep.
alarming rate. Their 17-year streak of finishing a season with a positive turnover differential, that's the longest since the 1970 merger, in jeopardy of being snapped. Right now, they're -8 with 3
Yep.
games to play, including
Done.
this Sunday. Tip of the cap to Mike Reese of ESPN, who pulled that
Yeah.
stat earlier this week. And I really think it encompasses so much about this team. A lot of self-inflicted wounds, a lot of single score
Right.
games that could have gone the opposite way. The Patriots have just shown more discipline. Murph, what can I say? It is an honor. It is a privilege to share the microphone with you. And Murph will be back here next week, folks, to help us ring in 2024. But it wouldn't be the Christmas season unless
Telegraph
I offered.
Tuesday.
Absolutely, folks. And we will be back here on Telegraph Tuesday. Special edition coming at you on Monday. So stay tuned. Keep an eye on that. There will still be a Christmas episode here on Locked On Patriots. Our national friends are doing a great job of providing programming. But Murph and I will be back here on Tuesday for Telegraph Tuesday. And of course, it is Mailbag Monday, folks. So get those questions in. But
Please.
before I let you go today, my friend, I wouldn't be doing my job as a friend, as a colleague, to express my true appreciation, my thanks for everything that you do for the show, for always being there for the handoff, and for providing amazing wisdom and counsel to Patriots fans throughout the nation that tune into us each and every day on Locked On Patriots. Thank you so much. It's my honor, my privilege, and please enlighten us what we can expect over the Christmas holiday from the great pen, the great voice of Thomas Murphy, as we march toward 2024, my friend.
No, thank you, Michael. Thank you for allowing me to come in here once or twice a week and vent and share and just enjoy the community that Locked On Patriots is. The everydayers that are out there, we really appreciate you more than you know, and keep those monster questions coming in for Mailbag Mondays. They've just been fantastic, especially lately. I'm sorry we can't give credit to everybody who sends in these questions, and we don't have enough time to answer them all. Of course, you can find me over there at diehardbostonsports.com. I got a nice little piece up there on Alex Verdugo. Thought I was done talking about him. No, I'm not. Nice little shot on the way out the door, or the way in the door, down there in the Boogie Down Bronx. Go check that out. The Monster Keys are up there right now, and whatever tickles my fancy this weekend or ticks me off, the fact that John Henry just doesn't know how to open up his purse anymore. That could happen. You could get that on Christmas Eve, but until then, until next week, please be safe out there when you're driving. There's a lot of people out there that aren't as smart as you are and do drink and drive during the holidays. So keep your eyes open. And one last thing before I go. The Godfather is a Christmas movie, and I will be watching it on Christmas Eve, and all of you should too.
Absolutely. It is a Christmas movie.
It is
definitely. Michael takes Kay to the Bells of St. Mary's. Tom Hagen gets the fountain pen. Sonny got a tie. We don't know what Fredo got. We don't want to know what Fredo got.
We don't know.
I think we do, but we're just not recalling it right now. If anybody knows what Fredo got for Christmas, please, and don't say a trip with the fishes, folks, because that didn't happen until part 2. But yeah, drop us a line in the comments section below. But Murph is absolutely right. All of you everydayers especially, but all of you casual listeners and even our first timers today, we wish you sincerely a happy, healthy, joyous holiday season. Until then, I am Mike DeBate, and he is Thomas Murphy, and we remind you all to stay safe, especially during this holiday season. Stay well, and to be the change that you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone, a great weekend. Enjoy the game on Sunday, and once again, a very happy holidays from our family to yours.